It was the kind of cold that burned your skin, when slicing through even the thickest coats. But she stopped anyway. Emily Carter pulled her threadbare scarf tighter around her neck as she hurried down the icy sidewalk, arms wrapped around herself, fingers numb. The snow had begun to fall again, soft, quiet flakes that felt almost peaceful. But there was nothing peaceful about her life. Rent was due in 3 days. Her fridge was nearly empty. She had exactly $20 in her purse, the last of her paycheck after covering the electricity bill and her bus pass to work. Then she saw him. A man, maybe in his late 50s, sat on the cold concrete outside the grocery store. He had no gloves. His coat was thin, stained. His beard was frosted with ice. He wasn't holding a sign, wasn't begging. Just sitting there, eyes closed, as if giving up was easier than trying anymore. She slowed down, heart aching. Her breath puffed in the air, clouding her vision as she hesitated. She didn't have much, but he had nothing. Without thinking too long, because if she did, she might lose the courage, Emily walked over, knelt down, and pressed the folded $20 into his cracked, frozen hands. His eyes fluttered open, surprised. "Miss, I can't take. Please," she whispered. "Buy food. Or something warm." He looked at her like she was the first person to see him in a long time. "God bless you," he said, his voice barely above the wind. She walked away quickly before her tears could freeze on her cheeks. That night, Emily skipped dinner. She curled up under a pile of blankets in her tiny apartment, listening to the radiator groan in protest, wondering how she'd make it to next week. She wasn't sure if what she did had made any difference, but somehow, it felt right. Then came the morning. She stepped outside to find an envelope stuck to her door. No name, just her apartment number written in neat handwriting. Inside was a handwritten letter. Greater than, "Dear Emily. You don't know me, but I saw what you did yesterday. I saw you give your last bit of money to a man most people walk past without a glance. I know it was your last $20 because I followed you. Not in a creepy way, please don't be alarmed. I was curious, intrigued. I've been looking for someone like you. Someone kind, even when they're hurting. Someone who gives, even when they have nothing. My name is Robert Langston. I used to be the CEO of a large tech firm until I stepped away after a health scare. Now, I invest in people, not stocks. Consider this a thank you for reminding me what humanity looks like. Check your mailbox. RL. Heart racing, Emily dashed downstairs to the communal mailbox. Inside was a thick envelope. She tore it open, hands trembling. Inside, a check for $50,000. At first, she thought it was a scam. A prank. But it was real. She called the number listed in the corner of the letter. A warm voice answered. "Hello, Miss Carter. I was hoping you'd call." Robert explained everything. He had been in town visiting family when he saw her act of kindness. He'd been quietly helping people, those who showed extraordinary compassion despite personal hardship. Emily had stood out. With his help, Emily paid off her rent for the year. She enrolled in night classes, chasing her dream of becoming a social worker. And she never stopped helping others. But the story doesn't end there. She found the man she gave her $20 to. His name was Marcus. She found him sitting outside the same store a week later, sipping hot coffee. "Hey," she said softly, approaching. He looked up, eyes lighting with recognition. "You again." She sat beside him, handing him a bag of warm food. "I wanted to make sure you were okay," she said. Marcus smiled, tears shining in his eyes. "That 20, it didn't just get me a meal. It gave me hope. Reminded me I wasn't invisible. I started going to the shelter again. They're helping me get into a program." They talked for an hour. Two strangers connected by one cold afternoon, and one decision that changed both their lives. In time, Emily helped Marcus get housing. He became a volunteer at the same shelter that had saved him. Years passed. Emily became a licensed counselor, specializing in helping the homeless. She started a nonprofit called Last 20, inspired by the day she gave away what she thought was her last bit of security. But it wasn't her last. It was her beginning. Moral: sometimes, the smallest act of kindness, one we think is insignificant or costly, becomes the spark that changes everything. Give, even when it's hard. Love, even when it hurts. Because you never know who's watching, or how the universe will answer in return.